Soundstripe.
Good evening, and welcome to My Spouse is My Best Friend. I'm your co-host, Nicole.
I'm Dr. Jason Green.
And Happy New Year. Happy
New
2026. We made it through 2025.
And we still married.
And we still together.
Oh.
Yay! Well, we are kicking off this year. We want to talk about your spouse. We want to talk about best friends. We want to talk about love, communication, commitment. We're doing big things in 2026, and we want you all to stay connected. So if you haven't had a chance, like, subscribe, go to our website, sign up for our Lovebirds community. We're doing great things over there, and we love to see you and your spouse in the place. And so for today's topic, we're going to talk about, is your spouse still your best friend, even in 2026? Is your spouse still your best friend?
Well, hopefully they were the best friends at first.
Hopefully.
But yes, my spouse is still my best friend.
Yay, me. So the other day I was on social media and I saw a post from a social media person stating that your spouse should not be your best friend because they have other best friends that they consider, and they didn't want to lose their best friend community.
Really?
Really?
Well, I mean, why can't you have friends outside of your relationship? I mean, I would think you want your spouse to be closer than your best friends.
Right.
And I want to have fun.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. You didn't tell me that one.
Well, I forgot. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you and the people at the same time. Multitasking. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting comment. I mean, we have our own friends, but we are our best friends. You know, if you think about your best friend, you think about the person that you want to spend majority of your time with, that you talk to all day, that you come to them with your concerns, your worries, like every emotion you want to share with your best friend. You want to have sleepovers with? I get to have a nightly sleepover with you.
Yes, I do.
See, you was trying to say something else, but yeah, just keep it going.
Inti
hoop. So yeah, that's what your best friend is. So if you dedicated your entire life to one person, why not make them your best friend?
I agree, because I mean, I have friends out there, and some of them are best friends, and now thinking about that, you know, I tell my best friends everything. When something funny comes up or some breaking news comes out, especially sports news or anything else. But I have a different friend for each one of those things, right? So like I have a friend that, you know, that I can go, hey, did you know Mike Eberflus got married? I mean, got fired today because he's into sports. Or I have another friend I can talk about, you know, basketball with. Or I can have another friend to talk about world news with. But I actually have a best friend in my wife that I can talk overall with. And so it's kind of awesome to have that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so even though you go through different seasons and changes, just like with the best friend, you're going to have your ups and your downs. It's the same thing with your spouse. And so the honeymoon phase, everything's good. You want to do everything together. And then you're kind of in that rut. And so, you know, how do you get out of the rut? How do you keep going? Just like you do with your best friend. You keep talking, you keep going. You don't stop.
And if you think about it, I mean, I have best friends that are no longer best friends. And it's not because we got in a disagreement or we got into a fight or anything like that. It's just we drifted apart. Because, you know, life happens. They got families, I got families, they got kids, I got kids, and so forth. So it's easy to drift apart from a best friend as well.
Yeah. So you find yourself not laughing as much. You don't have those emotional shake-ins. You don't even know what your person's doing half the time.
I know. And then, you know, even in the beginning, I know not all relationships start in friendships. Some start in just, hey, it was one night stand. But some start, you know, you had a foundation. But, you know, even in early marriage, you know, you start having, you know, fun, curiosity and whatnot. And then later in the season, you start, you know, getting responsibilities and kids start coming along. And the friendship just starts disappearing because you're more focused on everyday life than each other or being friends and anything like that.
I think it's the task of your role as a husband and the task of your role as a wife and mother. I think we get caught up in the task.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where you see the friendship fading. And so to rebuild that friendship, we always talk about it. You got to be intentional. You have to be intentional. So encourage conversation. So you might say, Nicole, Dr. J, we know each other ins and outs, and well, start asking deeper questions.
And think about when you first met, and you started courting and you started talking, and remember those days you used to be on the phone and you can talk to your spouse or whoever it was for hours on top of the day, and you were out somewhere and you wanted to call them and whatnot. Is that excitement still there? Is a question you have to ask. Or has your day or your talks become task oriented?
Yep.
What time are we going to eat? What time we have to be here? What time you got to pick up the kids? What time? It becomes logistical, right? You start just talking about tasks. You're not talking about real world events. You're not talking about how was your day. You're not talking about, girl, you know what I heard today?
Right.
Or none of that. You forget about that. And then you forget about laughter and you forget about having fun together. And it's easy to do that. So we want to make sure that we're being intentional and checking in with each other as well.
Yep. Check in, be intentional, have those conversations, those daily touch points of how was your day? What's going on? What did Karen do to you today in the cubicle?
And if you find yourself drifting apart or anything like that, and we're open and honest. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I just stopped and I said, hey, I've been feeling like I can't talk to you the way I talked to you 15 years ago, because I feel like I'm holding back on some things that we used to talk about because I don't want to deal with your reaction. And she was like, well, really? And I had to check in with her because I didn't want to feel, the reason why I fell in love with my wife is because I could tell her anything. But I start feeling myself holding back on some of the things I used to tell her because I know her so well, I knew her reaction or not. And she said the same thing. And so we had to like reset and say, okay, we're not going to do that. Whatever's on our head, we're going to just say it, and we're going to respect it and make sure that we're saying it in a loving way.
Right.
If it's confrontational, which most of the time it's not,
yeah.
But we're going to make sure that we're also maintaining the friendship that we had or built before we got into a relationship.
Right, exactly. And recently, as you all know, I broke my ankle, been in and out of the hospitals, doctor's offices, casts, boots, things like that. And so I've just been tired and drained. And so from my perspective, my physical being was like, oh. And so I didn't have that. He's used to me and wasn't like that for a while. And so I had to remember that even though I was like, oh,
brother, the bedroom was dead.
The bedroom was dead. I'm so sorry. But now that my cast is off, we can go back to, swinging from the chandelier.
So, romance fluctuates throughout with attitude, but a friendship really sustains. And you have to remember that you need to have that friendship because romance, guys, we know, the beginning, we're doing the roses and chocolates and opening the doors and whatnot. And as time goes on, we forget to do some of those things. Mm-hmm. But a friendship will always sustain. And I'm not saying don't come back to romance. I'm just saying, hey, we know that romance, it starts to, fade, and it can fade. But a friendship sustains, and that's what keeps a marriage strong.
Yeah, and
wanting to be with that person.
Speaking of that, make sure that she, that's her love language of getting gifts, because you could be buying chocolates and you could be buying flowers, and she might not like flowers.
We told you that story. I bought flowers for a hot minute, and finally she said, "Well, I bought flowers. She keep the flowers, then I find them in the backyard. I bought flowers. She keep them for 2 days, and then I find them in the backyard." And I'm just like, dude, why is your flowers end up in the backyard? I don't like flowers. Well, I mean, I could have saved like $500 if you would have told me about that.
Oops. But again, through friendship, building that foundation, we found out that
she don't like flowers.
I don't like flowers. I like diamonds.
And you got a lot of those too.
I do. Appreciate
it. So, as I said, romance, it will often outgrow the friendship, but the friendship does sustain. So you want to check in, ask yourself, are we still friends? And if we're not, what happened? What are we missing? You're not always, I mean, and you can't, because you hear people say, well, let's go back like it used to be. It will never be the same because you've grown, right? You've been through some things. You have to re-relate. So one of the things to do is create new moments, as we always say, and create new things to laugh about or talk about or get interested in different things together. Because it's never going to be the same.
Yep. And then just remember that, again, that marriage thrives on friendship. And so if you don't have that community that can help support you through this building of the foundation and building your friendship, find you some friends. Find you some good friends, not single friends.
Good married friends.
Friends that you can get along with the husband and the wife.
And then I talk about the romance fading, but if you're basing it on friendship, right? Think about when you were dating, you became friends. The romance will come. I mean, because you have to like the person you have a romance with. Yeah. Well, you don't have to, but it's preferable. I mean, it makes it a lot better when you like the person you're romancing with.
Hopefully you like it.
So.
Yes, husband.
I think that's it.
That's it. Okay, so like I was saying, again, get you some good friends and join our Love Bird community. So if you want to surround yourself with friends, if you want some resources, some tools to talk to some like-minded, what am I trying to say? Marriages, husbands and wives, join our community. So again, go to our website under www.mybestfriend.com and join the community. And not only will you join a great exclusive community, but you'll also receive a free Kingdom Marriage Matters wrist bracelet.
Cool. And so, that being said, I challenge y'all this week to sit down in your wind down Wednesdays or Thursdays or whatever day you pick.
Somebody picks somebody had a Monday. Somebody said they chose Mondays.
A wind down Monday.
They do Mondays, yeah. I mean, it works. It works for them, but that was different.
Yeah, that's different. But in those, I challenge you to ask the question and say, are we still friends? Do we still like each other? And be open and honest with each other. Because if you're not, you're just going to harbor your feelings and you're going to continue to drift away, and then you know what happens from there. So let's make sure we're doing that and we're being intentional.
Yeah, and I'd say the last thing is, you can miss the phone calls of your friends, your same-sex friends, but try missing a call from your spouse and see what happens.
All right.
What else?
I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen.
I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. That's the next episode.
Girl, bye. All right.
Like, subscribe, join the community. Stay blessed.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Soundstripe.